So my name is Jonas Bylund, and I'm based at IQS in Stockholm. Let's say in this organization, I'm actually mainly doing program coordination and kind of strategic networking and challenge-driven support for something called JPI Urban Europe. So I help about 20 countries, 40 plus public funders to do joint calls and help research and innovation actors and other actors to kind of push for urban transformations. So that's why I also find this project very interesting, because the urban rarely stops at the city territorial boundaries, so to speak. As part of, let's say, the new programming period in phase in Europe, in the European Union, we're also having a partnership with the European Commission called Driving Urban Transitions to a Sustainable Future. And within that, one of the transition pathways, as we call it, one of the kind of thematic pillars is around the 15-minute city, which also that kind of programming for the next 7 years will also have, let's say, opportunities and try to tackle challenges that I guess are also involved in these kinds of transit-oriented development aspects. I mean, there are questions in this around peri-urban and suburban areas, of course, the fringes, and that is quite a bit of a specific challenge, I guess, especially in parts of Europe where you have a lot of urban sprawl, or in different ways, right? But also the kind of sometimes contestation between urban and rural, if you want to work with that dichotomy at all, right? But mostly there is kind of metropolitan or semi-metropolitan areas all around in Europe anyways, right? So kind of mixed up with agriculture, etc. So it is a challenge, the 15-minute city. Oh, quite a bit. At least, I mean, the last 5 years, we've seen growing ambition also in and around research and innovation funding to actually focus to really address the sustainable development goals, for example, and of course, following up on the Paris Agreement or climate action, more or less. There is a lot of focus on that kind of co-creation and kind of pushing challenge-driven approaches. Also, not least if you're looking at the missions as a new kind of instrument around this. So that's, we also see that. But we also see that urban infrastructure, and that has also become let's say, more and more of a question, and not least with COVID, when perhaps many also realized thinking more about connectivity than and accessibility in different ways than just mobility. So I guess we're also in a kind of a turmoil, a kind of a transition phase, quite simply, which I guess will be an interesting challenge for the project. That the cities and the urban areas could be, how would you say, produce much more benefits than just consuming resources as we're doing now, right? And that has direct effects on rural areas all around the world, of course, but also in terms of person mobility, the kind of direct hinterlands, etc. And I guess my dreams and my hopes for that would be to, let's say, have a better handshake and perhaps simply stop putting them, or how do you say, you pit them against each other constantly. Many times there are political interests or other types of interests behind that, and I think that's really something that we need to kind of do away with. It's more like we need kind of a planetary collaboration, and we see that in the European regions with smart specialization, etc. There's no way around it. So I'm just hoping for better collaboration, so to speak.